It's time for another carrier product update. Tune in as we talk directly to the carriers about their new plans, any new network options they have, or which plan designs offer the most savings, and learn about the tools and resources they offer to help you generate more business. Visit our website to learn about all of the carriers we quote in our Carrier Product Update series. I'm Jason Powers, and I'm joined today by Matt Breitenbach from Metlife, Regional Market Account Executive. Did I pronounce that right? Is it Breitenbach or Breitenbach? Breitenbach.
I've heard a lot worse, so
I clarified that in the pre-show. Matt, I appreciate you being here. This is the first time we've had Metlife on for our Carrier Product Update. This is a special edition. This is our Q4 Kickoff Summit. Brokers are getting ready to head into Q4. Busy renewal season. We primarily do a lot of group medical here, but ancillary is something that we get asked a lot for, and we've got a great partnership with Metlife. So I appreciate you taking the time to come out and be part of our show and part of educating our brokers.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm very impressed by the setup and everything.
So you should see us on the weekends. We get pretty crazy around here. So we'll jump right into it. Let's talk about Metlife, what's going on with product, and what brokers can expect in Q4.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a slide here that has a lot of tiny print. I do not expect everyone to be able to see that and read that. So I've got some notes written down and just some brief highlights before we jump into the extra stuff. So kind of running left to right and top to bottom. The first thing up there on the top left, we've evolved our disability and absence management or leave management. We wholly own our system. That is a lot of times a sticking point in the market, whether people outsource their leave management or do it internally. We decided to fully invest. I think the number is about $500 million in the space to make sure that we are the best in the market. We currently can go down to 500 employees on that, and we have kind of future-looking plans to go down to 100 employees. So that's something new and exciting about disability as we see different state plans popping up. And if you ever have questions about different state plans, we do have a full website about all the different state plans. It's super interactive. I highly recommend checking it out. Moving over to the enhanced dental benefits. I will talk more about this on the next slide, but we have historically not done rollover. We have not done too much from a preventative care, incentive benefit kind of stuff is just the best way to put it. That is no longer true. We have entered that space and we've kind of done something a little different. Like I said, I'll get into that. The third thing up there on the top right, continued investment in health savings and spending accounts. A lot of people don't know we're actually an HSA and FSA vendor. We've been doing it for about 3 years, and we're kind of hitting the ground running with this. We have it internally for ourselves, and it's something that a lot of different companies have or want, and so we're like, hey, we're missing out on a little bit of the market. We might as well get into this space as well.
So you're acting in the capacity of a bank, essentially, right? On the HSA administration and the FSA administration.
We partner with Wex Health for it.
Okay.
And so
familiar with their platform.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And so we do pay broker commissions on it, which I understand is unique.
Yep.
And if you have more questions about HSA and FSA, I'll be the first to tell you I'm not an expert in it.
That's okay.
And so
it's good to know that you do it.
Yeah, it's something that it comes up a little bit here and there. We're not quite the biggest player yet, but we're continuously investing in products like that to really become the rounded out carrier for a group. Moving into the middle on the left, expanding connected benefits experience. Connected benefits, for those of you that don't know, from a Metlife perspective, what this means is we can actually take a medical claims file on a self-funded medical customer and take those claims to automatically notify employees of any accident claims, critical illness claims that they might be leaving money on the table, right? Let's say, for example, something comes across on a medical claims file that signifies, easy example, a heart attack, right? We get that claims file. We see that that employee has critical illness insurance with us. We will send them, I think, an email and a letter letting them know, hey, you might be leaving money on the table. You should probably submit a claim, and here's directions on how to submit that claim.
Wow.
And then on the flip side of that, we also have the ability to automatically pay out health screening benefits. So, you know, the $50 or $100 that someone could get as part of their accident or critical illness plan, when their annual wellness exam comes across that claims file, we'll just automatically send them a $50 check.
So you're not requiring that they actually file, you just go right in the
send them
claims
free
file?
money.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
so we're doing that. Historically, we've done this with disability programs. You know, that was easy, right? That was the first step. We've expanded into the medical market. So if they've got self-funded medical, 100 employees and above, they're eligible. And then we are forward-looking into dental and vision as well, so that when you go and get your dental cleaning, you know, that counts as a health screening benefit for us. And so you go get your dental cleaning and you've got accident with MetLife, $50 showing up in your mailbox.
Wow.
So we're trying to make it make sense for employees from a connected perspective, and it's something that's super exciting for us.
So to just kind of expand on that, so if I've got a custom TPA in place with where I'm getting detailed medical claims feeds, I mean, obviously in some of the small group carrier models, I'm not going to get that kind of feed, but if I can get that kind of feed, it's just a matter of then integrating with your systems. Do you guys manage that integration with the medical TPA, or is that something the broker facilitates by like getting the file and sending it to you?
Yeah, so it's actually as simple from a group and broker perspective as a checkbox during implementation. You let us know, and then our team, you give us whoever the contact is that you have over there, and then our team gets off and running with it. And there's no fees from our perspective. We have seen medical carriers charge a fee for the service of sending, you know, the claims information to a new party, but we've only seen that once or twice. So typically speaking, there's no cost associated with this either.
Is there a size threshold that you say, hey, we want to do this for any group smaller than?
Yeah, we need 100 employees.
Okay, so this is
yeah.
the 100
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. There's some healthcare navigation services that come along with it too. But yeah, it's 100 plus. I believe as part of the plans with expanding into the dental and vision, I believe we're trying to bring it down market. But we don't offer accident and critical illness except in specific scenarios under 100 employees anyway. So kind of it's a moot point, right?
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah. Excuse me. Pet insurance. This is actually something that Jason, you laugh. It's the same response I get every single time. But you think about the pet industry, not just pet insurance. You think about pet industry in the last 3 years. I lived in an apartment complex during the start of COVID, the initial 2-week shutdown that seemed to go forever. I think there must have been 10 to 15 new puppies in the first 6 months of COVID, and just in our apartment complex. The numbers are astounding of how many people adopted pets. I was just talking to somebody earlier this morning about the cost that they have for their dog at the vet. More and more people are seeing pet insurance as a must-have benefit at work. And then you also talk about the current war on talent. We are getting more and more requests for benefits like pet insurance because people are like, I need to have everything available to my client or to my employees because they can get this somewhere else, and I need to be able to retain employees. So, we laugh about pet insurance. It is funny to me. I couldn't fathom buying it for my dog. But with that said, there's so many people who are saying, we want this, we need this, and employers are looking at it as a retainment tool.
Anybody that's ever watched one of our CE classes that we did during COVID when I was at home has probably heard my pug snore at my feet.
The classic pug snore.
Yeah, the pug, right? And we've had her in the vet twice for some major surgeries,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, upwards of $3,000 a piece. So I understand the need for it. And I heard from someone else that because it's not life and health, it requires a PNC license to be sold.
Yes, good call out. It's definitely PNC licensed.
Okay, and then is it available? Is that another one of those over 100 before you offer it?
So over 100, we can do it standalone, no problem. Under 100, we need to package it with some sort of just classic core product, whether that's dental, vision, life, disability.
Okay.
But, yeah, so it is available all the way down to 10 employees.
Good to know.
Yeah.
10 enrolled or 10 eligible?
10 eligible.
Good to know.
Yep.
All right.
So moving on to vision insurance, I will move into another slide in a little bit here, but we purchased our own vision carrier, Superior and Davis. The overarching company is Versant Health, if you're unfamiliar with that, Superior and Davis. This is super exciting for me because we typically before had to kind of go ask for permission to do things with plan designs. The pricing wasn't always really up to our discretion. Now we own the process. And so that's what I'm excited about. We own the network, we own the process, we own the credentialing for our network, much like we do with dental. We can have who we want in network and kick out who we don't want in network, right? So there's a lot of little benefits that have come of this that, I didn't see this as a positive as when we first did it. But the more and more we talk about it, the more I'm like, oh, that's something new that I didn't know we could do because we didn't own it before, right?
Yeah.
So I'll get into more there. Life insurance, we did roll out a new whole life product. And then with that, we do also, any group with 100 employees or more on Employee Navigator, we have digital statement of health available. So that's been a big kind of touch point recently. It's a pretty easy setup, and 100 more employees on Employee Navigator. We can get digital statement of health for voluntary life.
We can still do the product under 100.
Yeah.
It just has a paper statement.
Yeah, it's a normal kind of clunky process, but I think everybody kind of experiences the clunky statement of health process, right?
Yeah.
But
typically on those, it's you're getting a statement of health because they're doing it above the GI.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
yeah, it's always an understandable reason,
Yeah.
right?
And that's always coming after the application for the coverage. Right?
Exactly. So yeah, and it's almost like the Employee Navigator setup for digital statement of health. I almost don't recommend doing it ahead of going live for a group because they're going to start sending in digital or statement of health before the group is before our statement of health team recognizes the group.
Yeah.
So waiting until the first of the effective date, it typically works a little better that way.
Makes sense.
And then the last kind of two things from this slide, financial wellness. We do have our seminars, RetireWise, Plan Smart. Those are in the 500 plus area. We can do also this new Upwise app by Metlife. We can do that down to 100 employees. I've personally used it, I actually love it, and there will be more on that later. And then ID theft, we entered into a exclusive agreement with Aura. And so we are the only carrier in the country who can offer Aura through the group chassis or group perspective. So if we can move to the next slide. I wanted to go into just really briefly how our new incentive provisions work for dental. This is just one simple example. There are a couple of different options that we can do from like a vanishing deductible perspective. This is
Vanishing deductible.
Yeah, where each year if you're getting the necessary cleanings or whatever, or the necessary preventative maintenance, the deductible will go down. That's one option. Another option is this: the incentive or the annual max increase. So each year, as long as you're getting your exam and your cleaning, just one, your annual maximum will be bumped up by whatever the predetermined amount is. This example uses $250. I've seen $50 versions, I've seen $100 versions. The interesting thing about this, I said, oh great, we're doing rollover, like we're gonna match the market. No, you never lose this amount. So if you jump to year 2, and in year 1 you got your cleaning and your exam, you'll go to $2,250. If you don't get a cleaning and exam that year, you're still gonna have $2,250 that year and every year following. As soon as you get another cleaning and exam, it'll jump up to $2,500 in this example, but it will be capped after 2 years. So you can go from $2,000 to $2,500. Beyond that, you will just maintain that $2,500 annual maximum.
Just by having the cleanings, the exam and the cleanings the first 2 years.
Yep.
So does that work the same on the 1,000?
Yeah, this is just
So
simply
it'd be
an
like 1,250 and
example.
1,500.
Yeah, yep.
So it's just
Exactly.
the 250 incentive
Yep.
provision.
Great. And this is something.
innovation.
Right. This is something that we have to add on through the underwriting process.
Yeah.
It's not automatic, but it's as simple as either you letting me know to quote it, or me being smart enough to just throw it in. Right.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Love innovation in dental, which can often be the same plan every time.
I get that. I was listening to John's before, and I was like, "Yep, I know all that stuff." So just touching briefly back on the vision piece, acquiring Superior and Davis allowed us to become the 3rd largest U.S. vision carrier. So there's a lot of kind of numbers behind that, right? A lot of experience behind that. And then, as I said before, it allows us to strengthen and control the process.
Yeah.
To help us expand what we're doing there. So
Yeah, not a disconnect with the network. It's
Right.
yours now.
exactly. This goes back to the RetireWise and PlanSmart that I mentioned before. This is available down to 500 employees. But the thing I want to call out that we can do down to 100 employees is the Upwise app, and I think there might be on the next slide.
Yep.
So Upwise is completely free. You let us know that you guys want to add it. We set up the control tower, we call it. We put the group's name in, and then you send out communications to the group, and they can sign up as they want. Completely free. We launched it, I guess, about a year ago now, and it's been great. Like I said, I use it. I linked my bank accounts, and I found a couple subscriptions through the app that I didn't know I was paying for still. I think it was like a video game prescription from when I was in college, or not prescription, subscription. From when I was in college, like 10 years ago. And I'm like, I'm still spending like $5 a month on this? Are you kidding me? So I was thankful for the Upwise app, saved me $5 a month just like that.
Right. Yeah. So it's going in and it's finding
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah, you have to give it permissions and all that,
Sure.
but it's been great. So
It's great.
and then I think there's one more slide. Yeah, Aura. This one is really, really cool. I'm a really big fan of this. I personally have it. It is ID theft. It is financial wellness. It is online protection. It is like dark web searching your information. It's doing everything that you want from an online or ID theft protection all in one app.
So it's more than just credit monitoring, more
Right.
than just
Right. It's you can even turn on, I think, like if you have kids and you want to have like certain websites that not enabled, or see their search history and all that kind of stuff. That's in there. If you get an alert that your credit is at risk or what have you, you can automatically turn on and off your credit just by clicking the button in the app, versus having to call Equifax or whatever to try to turn it off. simply hit a button and it locks your credit.
So is this an add-on or a value? Is this a value add or an add-on separate product?
No, this is a separate product.
Okay.
It generally runs. I can't even remember the pricing off the top of my head. But
does this require a PNC license, or is it because it
this
must
would be a PNC license?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But there's a employee-only plan and a family plan. Family plan allows you to add up to 10 people. And then there's employee-paid voluntary rates. There's employer-paid rates. And we're actually kind of seeing that a lot of groups are finding that they're already paying for a service like this, and they're paying X amount more, and they can bring in multiple services into one app, cut their costs, and pay for it all for their employees. So we've had a lot of really quick success from this, and we are the only place that groups can get this from an employer perspective.
Got it. That's great. So from a Q4, just kind of thinking through maybe some of the smaller group, let's call it dental, vision, life, disability type products. Any submission deadline kind of things we need to be looking for in Q4?
Yeah. Thinking down to, let's say, less than 100 employees.
Sure.
Typically speaking, we want 30 days from the time that we're told that this is sold to the effective date. So, that way we can guarantee everything's up and running, especially dental and vision, where those are the last few days of winter break and kids are going to the dentist. Every time someone can't be found, right? Because some submission happened late, right? In order to avoid those kind of situations, just having ample time. As far as quote turnaround time, I would say about 7 days with 5 business days in reality during peak season from an under 100 underwriting perspective. Non-peak season, it's about 3 business days, but peak season we definitely
We all see the volume for sure.
Yeah.
Great. As brokers are heading out into that busy season, do you have any last minute tips for them as they go out into the wild unknown?
Don't forget about us. No.
Yeah.
No. I would say set expectations. Because more often than not, from our perspective, the problems arise when I don't communicate something effectively and I don't set expectations effectively, and so that's always my kind of fourth quarter reminder to myself is, hey, if we set expectations, we're going to have a better process down the road, right? So I think everybody can do a better job of setting expectations. So don't worry, you set great expectations for what today was going to be.
Well, I appreciate that, and I do appreciate you being here and being part of our updates. If you've got group quotes that you're reviewing now, and you want to see some ancillary proposals from Metlife, be sure to let Stephanie Douglas know in our office. If you're working on renewals on the medical side and you're looking for ancillary proposals from Metlife, Teresa Agrusa in our office will be happy to get those for you. Matt, thank you so much for being here. Brokers, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching this edition of our Carrier Product Update Series. Visit our website to watch other episodes.